Kaylee. I'm with Penelope & Co. and we're going to learn how to do the basic stitches for hand embroidery. So just a little backstory, I got started in embroidery about a year ago when I was pregnant with my daughter, and I really wanted to personalize a lot of things for her. Also, my sister and sister-in-law were having a baby, and also our dog Penelope. I wanted to personalize a whole bunch of bandanas and things for her too. So that's how I got started. I'm self-taught and I am still learning every day, but I cannot wait to share this with you because has become such a therapeutic hobby, and you'll get to create so many amazing things too. So let's get started.
All right, so we're gonna begin by learning how to put your fabric, or if you're embroidering like a shirt or something, onto the hoop. So you'll start by putting the back side, which is the smaller side, on a table or surface in front of you, and then you'll place your fabric on top. Try to line it up. If you're doing like a shirt or something, you'll want to measure this out to make sure you have it perfectly straight. And then you just pop the top on, and then this is the part where you tighten it as much as you can. Now this is a wooden embroidery hoop. These are really good for decorating and all those things. I actually personally prefer a plastic hoop. I just feel like it holds in the fabric a little bit better, but the wooden hoop also works just as good. So next we're gonna thread this needle. I started by putting a knot on the end of this, and then we're gonna thread it. And sometimes this is the hardest part of hand embroidery, I will tell you, but it can get frustrating. But a little tip is if you cut off the end, it makes it straight and easier to thread through. So then you just want to have a little bit of a tail so it's not falling off. So you don't have to tie it or anything. You just put it like this. All right, now we're gonna start with the back stitch. And this is one of my favorite stitches to do. It's just so basic, but it looks really good too. So you're gonna start at the top of your line, thread all the way through until you hit that knot, and then you'll thread one stitch length. And then for a back stitch, you're actually going to, from the back, go one stitch length, come up, pull all the way through, and then you're gonna go back through that same hole right here to make the stitches connect. And then you just do the same thing all the way until the end. And it looks really, really good. All right, we are going to tie this off, make a knot on the back to hold it. So you just put the needle through one of the last stitches you just did, pull it almost all the way through, and then you're going to have a little bit of a loop, and you're gonna stick your needle through that and just pull it tight. And then you have a little knot right there, and that is how you tie that off, and just cut the excess off, and you're done. All right, next is a chain stitch. This is a really pretty way to elevate any piece that you're doing. So a chain stitch, you'll pull through your first little hole, and then you're gonna go through the same place that you originally went, and you'll want to kind of hold the thread right here on the first one because the knot's right there, and you're just gonna put this right back through and then pull, and you want to have a loop at the end because you are going to go one stitch length, put your needle through, and then you're going to put your needle through that loop and pull through, and then that makes a chain. You can see that. Oops. All right, and then we're gonna keep going until the end. All right, I just finished up with a chain stitch, and you can see how it looks just like a chain now, and it is really, really pretty. All right, next we're gonna do the split stitch And so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna start out, pull the thread all the way through until you hit that knot, and then you're gonna make one stitch length, just like a straight stitch. You'll pull that all the way through, and then you're going to go to the middle of that stitch. Oops, sometimes and pull through there. And then you'll do the same thing. One stitch length, then go to the middle of that stitch from the back, split that stitch in half, where the or split the thread in half and pull through. All right, and this is what the split stitch looks like at the end. It's really, really pretty and detailed. This is the satin stitch. It's really good for filling in objects. And I've started it here, but we will continue. So my last stitch ended at the bottom right here. And so we're gonna go in from the back right next to that stitch and pull that through. And then we're gonna go up, straight up, to the stitch that's right next to it. Oh. And pull that tight. And then we're gonna go right next to that stitch that we just did, coming from the back. And then come right down to that stitch. And this is what the finished satin stitch looks like. Now we're gonna learn the fishbone stitch. This stitch is used a lot for leaves and things like that. It's a really, really pretty stitch. So we're gonna go in through the back, pull to the knot, and then you're gonna go down to the center about one stitch length and pull that through, all the way through. And then you're gonna go to the right of that first stitch, pull that through, and then go beneath that center stitch, oops, and pull that through. And then you're going to go on the left side, and then down. And then you'll just go crisscross until you finish. All right, and then this is the finished fishbone stitch. It looks almost like a fishtail braid. It's really, really pretty at the end. So again, I use it a lot for leaves and stuff, but you also could use this in lieu of like satin stitch. So the fringe knot, you are going to put your needle through where you want the knot to be. Pull all the way through, and then you're going to point your needle away from the thread, and then you are going to wrap it. Sorry, I need to set this down. Once and then twice, and then make sure you hold. Once and twice, and then make sure you hold this, and then you're going to put this needle back through or close to that original stitch, and then you're going to pull. Make sure you're holding on to the, and then that's how you make a French knot. So this is good for like centers of flowers and things like that. What I learned today is how to do a lazy daisy, so a flower. So we're gonna start by going up through the center of one of the petals, and then you are going to hold the thread and go back through that same spot. And then you want to leave a loop because you're gonna go through Your next stitch is going to be through the middle here of the top of the flower petal, and you'll pull to make that petal. And then to close that out, you're going to go above the petal and pull through. And then we'll do that around the flower until all the petals are complete. This is what the completed Lazy Daisy is going to look like. This is the most basic and easiest flower stitch that you can do. I would finish off the middle of this Lazy Daisy with a French knot in the middle. And now we're done with all of our basic stitches. Of course, there are more stitches that you can do, and I will teach you more in a different video. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you've learned. If you need help or have questions, feel free to email hello.penelopeco@gmail.com, and I would be more than happy to help you out more. Have a good day. Bye.